Welcome to Unbiased and on the Fence. We have Sherry with us. Hey, Sherry.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. So we got your birthday just passed. I want to mention some of the good things that happened. A lot happened in the last week, but you had a birthday. Happy late
Yeah,
birthday to you, and happy Mother's Day,
thank you. Thank
and
you.
happy Nurses Week as well. Right? Sherry's a nurse, you guys. So
Yeah, thank you.
and
Yeah, they always happen in the same week.
yep, and happy Mother's Day to all of you guys. If I
Yeah,
missed you guys and all the birthdays this month and all of that good stuff and all the nurses too. So, um,
yeah. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms.
but unfortunately, there you had some bad news on Mother's Day, and that's what we're here to talk about. Because while it was, really sad, and a lot of people are going through things similar to this right now. Sherry was able to find the magic and find what I consider miracles. And so we want to get right into it. So tell us about Mother's Day, Sherry.
Okay, so the night before Mother's Day, my daughter came home at like 11:30 p.m. and her daddy was in bed sleeping and she could hear him snoring as usual. And I think she went to sleep around 1:30 a.m. And anyway, where dad didn't wake up in a timely fashion or whatever, she went into the room to wake him up. And fortunately, he was turned on his left side. And when she approached him to shake his arm to wake him up, she noticed that, you know, his hand was discolored and everything. And she ran out of there and she ran to the neighbor's house and they weren't home. So she turned around and there was one neighbor that they were really close to. And she noticed he was home and he's never home.
Now she
He
tried to
always
actually
works
call
out of town.
911 right away, right?
Oh, yeah. She tried to call 911 and the phone kept
This
disconnecting.
is
It
what's
was
so
like,
weird, and I think this kind of
yeah,
points to the gentleness of and the interaction and help because it's almost like she was shielded. So she tries to call 911 several times, and it just keeps not connecting, like five times or
dropping.
something,
Yeah.
right? Right. So she's
Yeah.
like
It would be like, dun, dun,
frantically
dun.
trying to
She
find a phone, and
Oh,
and the
yeah.
neighbor's
She
not there. That's why she's trying
ran
to
to the
find the
neighbors.
neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm really kind of
Right. Oh no, I just want to make
still in
sure
a
we get that
fog.
in there because I
Yeah.
thought that was a really
Right.
cool part of this whole thing. You know.
Yeah, yeah. So when she turned around, the other neighbor that they are kind of close to and stuff, he was home and he is never, ever home. And what's crazy is she got to him and they called 911, and 911 kept trying to get them to perform CPR. And so Scott went into the room, and then Darby heard him say, "Oh my God." And then he told the 911 operator, "Look, CPR, isn't going to help at this point." Well, the thing is that I know my daughter. And if they'd have told her to do CPR on her dad, she would have. And if Scott had not been with her, which he's never home, like I said, she probably would have tried, and that would have been really traumatic for her. And the thing is that Scott said that he was supposed to be at his nephew's wedding and he had a job to finish. And so he didn't make it. And his family was all like kind of upset with him. So he had came home to like finish out the weekend or whatever. And he was like, I was not supposed to be here right now. And he's like, now I'll be able to tell my family, look, I was meant to be there right then. Because even he knew that it was a miracle. And for her phone to not connect to 911, to me, that just doesn't happen. You know, they're just and she had tried like 5 or 6 times to call, she said, and it just didn't work. And then she took off running.
Right. And
So
that
that
is
was
what
the
they
first
first do.
miracle.
They try to get you to see if you can resuscitate the person, and it was already too late. So it would have been more trauma than she needed to deal with at that time.
Yeah, it really would have because he'd had a lot of bleeding and out from his head. So that would have been, and she didn't even see any of that. So that was really a blessing, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
in disguise at the time. But then we saw it real quick. And also, I thought it was pretty neat that when I went to get his phone to get phone numbers out, like, vital numbers that we needed to reach people. Um, the last person to text him was my son, and ironically, he had sent him a link to their song because when he was little, he would run up to his dad and hug him every time it came on classic country when they were barbecuing at night. He even at 6 years old figured out how to call the radio station and requested it for him one night when they were like barbecuing and stuff. And he's all like, "Do you take requests from kids?" It was just so cute. And that's been their song kind of all along. So that was just pretty weird that Devin reached out right then. It probably was, from what we can see, gather around the time he didn't click on the message, but it was there, and we all know that he knows it was there now. And it was might have been around the time we lost him actually. So that's really interesting.
Right. What's the name of that song,
Yeah,
Sherry?
old violin, and
Old
we have
Violin.
included it. Yeah, and yeah, we included a song from Darby, from me, and from Devin. That's him and his dad's song. So that'll be on the tribute video that we show you at the end. But what's really cool is we all know that Darby's my daughter, so she's got a lot of me in her. And when she was at home for a bit by herself, she decided, well, she saw the cat. Actually, my husband was way into our cats. He talked to them all the time. He petted them all the time. He played with them all the time. And they were a big part of him and my daughter's relationship. Well, she saw the cat on the couch, and the cat was like going, and she knows her cats, and it was acting weird and watching something. So she turned on her camera right away, and she caught this big, beautiful orb. So here's the video.
There it was. Let me back it up a little bit there. Work 10 seconds. Here it comes. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear Darby gasp a little bit. She noticed it right away while she was
Love
recording
you,
it, I guess.
Dad. Miss you.
That's so sweet. That's really cool. Do we?
Yeah, and she's been really worried about the cats being like alone in the house and stuff when she was, because of course she was staying over here some and everything. And I was able to reassure, look, I said, they're not alone. I said, your dad's still hanging out with them. At one point, we were in his room separating some clothes and stuff, and one of the cats was laying on his bedside table, and Darby really just gasped. And she did film, and we didn't see anything, but the cat was laying just like it did when Jude would lay on the bed and pet it. And when he would pet backwards, the cat's eyes would close and then they would open when he went to repet. And the cat was doing that over and over. And she really started crying and was like, "I
Wow.
know dad's petting him right now. I just know it."
Oh my God. Yeah, I've
So,
seen cats do
yeah.
that. That's so cool.
And then we just started having one little sign after the other.
Yeah, I think this one to me bona fide miracle, and the reason I say that is like with Mandela effects when something changes, it's like you can't. There's no proof it was ever that way. But look at this. Look at these gold cherries. Tell us about these gold cherries.
Okay, so I bought these bracelets from a place called Get Strung because they use like guitar strings from the bands and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I had got Def Leppard, REO Speedwagon, and of course Warrant because of Cherry Pie. And anyone that knows my story at all, Janie Lane and Michael Jackson are like, I guess, spirit guides to me. And anyway, I was getting dressed to go to the funeral, and I put my bracelets on, and I looked down, and the cherries were gold, and they were 100%, 1,000%. I know that they were silver, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And of course, I was going through a lot right then. I didn't realize the significance of it. But when I got home, I just figured they changed. When I got home and I went to take it off, they were silver again.
Look at this.
And
Wow.
yeah, And like, so what was really interesting about this was it took like 2 or 3 days, and it just came to me that my husband had a girlfriend die in a car wreck when he was like 16 or something like that.
Mhm.
And he told me that the only miracle that he'd ever witnessed, or paranormal thing that he'd ever really saw that he knew was paranormal, was when he went over to the house to visit the mother, and they had like a silver cross that was for her, you know, because of her death or whatever. And while he was there, that cross turned to gold, and it stayed like that while he was there. And then right before he left, it like turned back to silver. So he like, that was the miracle that he went. And I was like, why didn't I think of this? Oh my gosh. It was kind of the same thing.
It really was. So like, and that was like his big miracle of his life, right? That's like the one
Yeah.
thing he would always look back to. So of course that would be what he would want to. And think about it, like alchemy is all about that, isn't it? It's all about like changing stuff into
Yeah.
gold. And
Yeah.
so let me look at these again. So the morning you're getting ready for the funeral, it's gold, and after you get back home, it's silver. So it like turned gold for
Yeah.
the get together, basically.
Right. And it had been silver all along. When I bought it, it was silver. I've looked at them many times. I actually bought one for Darby, and they're just silver, all
Right.
the way silver, all everything on it. And it was really, really gold too, if you look at it. I mean, that thing was definitely, there was no question. It,
Right. Yeah. It's like,
it yeah,
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like when you showed me this, I'm like, "Are you sure? Like it wasn't a temperature change?" So we're doing all these like little things to test it out because I was like, "This is like a miracle." Are you sure? And we're trying all these things, and they're just silver now. They won't
Mm,
turn gold. In fact,
nope.
when you sent this, they were just turning back silver, and you could actually see the leaves looked a little bit gold here, and then even that went
Yeah,
away. It ended up just kind of
right.
going just pure silver again. So that's really amazing.
They're all silver, and you can kind of see a little black on it somewhere they're trying to do the art or whatever, but there's no gold on it at all.
Right.
But I have to say this. Look, this funeral was very hard for me. And there was one little joker that got me through it because I had Grant, and he's 5. And I
There's
got to
Grant right
start
there.
by telling, yeah, yeah. I got to start by saying that you can play it while I'm talking. He actually called Darby while like the funeral home hadn't even came to the house yet, and he told his mom, I need to talk to Nan. And he gets on the phone and he's like, Nan, Paul died. And she was like, yeah. And he goes, Nan, are the cops going to take you to jail? And I was like, oh my gosh, Kayla's always watching ID, and they have like someone die on there, and he'll be playing around, playing in the living room or whatever. And then always in the end, someone goes to jail. So I thought that cracked me up. And I was telling everybody and stuff because I don't know the comedic relief from Grant. Did you play that one already? Where he
No,
was
let's.
giving me all the little, okay.
Well,
Yeah. So
okay,
at
I
the
played this,
funeral,
but we didn't play the next one.
okay, look, he's fake crying because he sees everyone else crying. So he's trying to act like he's crying, and he would pat his little eyes. It was so cute. And he would look out the corner of his eyes and see what people were doing, and then like copy them, kind of. And
Right.
it was so cute. It was so cute. And then another thing he did that was funny was Kayla had explained to Wyatt, who's 11, what cremation was. So Jude was in an urn at this little celebration of life event, and so she said to Wyatt, Paul's in that urn, right there. And Grant grabs the urn and he's like, what? Paul's in there? And it was like he was ready to like dig in. I don't know if he thought he was like miniature or what, but
Indian in the
because he
cupboard
didn't
or something.
understand.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He did not understand all that at all, but he kept me going because he's so funny and cute, and he just really, really got me through this. He really did, you know.
yeah.
But so
It's amazing how kids
let's
are like,
see.
especially the grandkids. They really.
Oh yeah, and they're so fun. They
Oh
just
yeah.
kind of keep you going. He was like, when he was doing that posing thing, I was cracking up. Okay, so here's what happened. So after we got, I mean, we weren't even like through the funeral yet. And my brother-in-law kept telling Devin, you need to sell his truck and you and Darby split the money and all that. And I'm like, we're not even at that point yet. You know, none of that matters right now. Come on, you know. Well, anyway, so Devin had kept asking about it. He's like, I feel like Dad would have wanted me to have the truck though, you know. And it was like my kids had almost worked it all out. Like Devin could have the guns and the truck, and then Darby could have like any money that came, like what was left over from the life insurance and what was in his account or whatever, which we have no idea how much. Like him and I had like separate accounts and stuff. So anyway, here's what happened. I thought, you know what? Darby had already gave me permission to use the ghost radar. I'm going to ask him. So I went in my room and it was all quiet. And I said, Jude, Devin is kind of feeling like he wants the truck. Devin wants a truck and they're always pushing him to sell it. Do you want Devin to have it or do you want the kids to sell it? And he said, as driver on the ghost radar. Is that showing? Yeah. So he was saying he wanted Devin as the driver. So that was really awesome. And then I felt kind of guilty because I'm like, now I'm feeling like I got contact, right? Because I can feel when there's really someone, you know. And I said, oh, look, I'm so sorry to talk to you about finances at this time. You know, like, how are you doing over there? How's it going? Are you okay? What's it like over there? Are you okay? And he said that. Perfect. Which is really reassuring, you know, like for the kids and myself. Oh, and then the coolest thing happened that gave confirmation to everyone. Real quick, I'm going to say, my husband, from the minute Darby was born, he's called her Monkey. And to this day, when she comes home from work, it kind of would aggravate her, poor thing. She feels guilty now because he'd say, there's the monkey. And he might call her Monks or whatever. He'd open her room to her door and say, what you want for dinner, Monk? You know, that was just what he called her. He didn't call her anything else. And so then I asked him, since I was on a roll, I said, so what do you want? Is there something you want to do with your account? Like, you know, your checking account, savings account, all those things. And he said, account. Monkey. Monkey's choice. And I was sure that I was connected to Jude 100%. Yeah. I knew it was him. Yep. And that really comforted my daughter so much. This I love the numbers too. Interaction the 2, the 8, radar. The 2, the 8, the 8. You know. Oh yeah, 35 is 8 too, right under monkey. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Nice. And 18. That's my little 1 and 8. Yep. Okay. So let's see what is next. Okay. So I just threw this picture in for Darby because this is kind of like our little memorial video for Jude. And so that's Darby and her best friends. Mariah is on your left and Haley is on the right. These growing up, these were like the best buds, you know.
What's the shirt about? Wild Stallion. Wild Stallion.
Okay. My husband, like to kind of, you'll see his personality throughout this because, like I said, he loved the cats, but he also loved rock and roll and stuff like that. So the Wild Stallions is the what would you call it? The fake, not real, created band from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, so the movie, yeah.
Him and Darby had that shirt. Yeah, yep. He also loved, I have to say, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, and Jack Black was in that. So that's one he loved too. So that cool. Was his kind of thing.
Love you, Darby.
Yeah.
Okay, so
here we go. At the funeral or service, we had a lot of things of Jude set out, and one thing his mom had saved was this little thing that he put his hand in when he was little, and the kids kept putting their hand in it, so I took some pictures in this little video. And so here's the story. So I was very much into this Casper song from the movie Casper. It's called Remember Me This Way. And my kids and I have watched the movie Casper probably 100 times since it came out. And this video, since Wyatt was 2, I wanted to make sure that he had this in case something happened to me. So I was kind of trying to decide when I was going over to their house to keep him yesterday. I was like, should I talk to him about it now? Because, I just didn't really know what to do. And I was kind of waiting for the universe to guide me on that. And as I was playing the song in my car, the way my phone was sitting in it, I could see. And all of a sudden, I saw this part where Casper was putting his hand in the plaster imprint from like when he was a boy, And I'm like, I do not remember ever seeing that on this video. I've watched it 100 times. I've watched the movie 100 times. And I mean, I asked Darby, and she's so observant, and she's like, Mom, I do not remember that part being in there. And so I had confirmation, like I feel like from Jude, that I should go ahead and give this song to Wyatt from Paul and let him know what it was called so that he could listen to it, now and remember it in case something ever happened to me, that was the song from us to our kids and grandkids. And it was really interesting because I got to see Wyatt. He's 11 now. Well, he will be Monday. And I was like explaining to him what a synchronicity was by showing him this. I said, you know how y'all were putting your hands on that? And I filmed y'all putting your hands on that and everything. And then this just shows up. It made me know I'm supposed to give it to you from Paul. And he got tears in his eyes. And he said, yeah, I see what you mean. And I said, that is synchronicity. So I got to like give him a little teaching lesson on that. But at this time, since because of copyright reasons, we can't play the song, I was hoping everybody doesn't mind sitting through if I read the lyrics real
Yeah,
quick.
let's read the lyrics, and
Um,
then the link is also below, so you guys can go check it out.
yeah, and the thing is that it's got the Casper stuff behind it, and it's really good for kids because they get to see how you really are still around and checking in on them. So here's the lyrics. It's called Remember Me This Way by Jordan Hill. Every now and then we find a special friend who never lets us down, who understands it all, reaches out each time you fall. You're the best friend that I found. I know you can't stay. A part of you will never, ever go away. Your heart will stay. I'll make a wish for you and hope it will come true, that life would just be kind to such a gentle mind. And if you lose your way, think back on yesterday. Remember me this way. Remember me this way. And then it says, I don't need eyes to see the love you bring to me, no matter where I go. And I'll know that you'll be there forevermore, a part of me. You're everywhere, and I'll always care. And I'll be right behind your shoulder, watching you. And he looked really surprised right then. And I said, not when you're in the bathroom. And I'll be standing by your side in all you do. And I won't ever leave as long as you believe. You just believe. And then it repeats the chorus, make a wish for you and hope it will come true, that life will be kind to a gentle mind. If you lose your way, look back on yesterday and remember me this way. So I just think it's lovely. And it was great for the movie too.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's about it. I
yeah.
just
This
wanted
is
to
Jude
point
in the
out that
front
this is
here, right?
yeah, he's in the front and that's his best friends. In fact, I'll just go left to right and give him a shout out. It's like Chad, Todd, Donnie, Matt, and then in the back from the left we have Billy, Mark, and Drew,
Very nice.
his little buddies. They were something else. I just tell you.
So
And so I
let's,
guess we can end it with
yeah. Well,
tribute
tell us
video.
tell us the songs. The first one's the
Oh
song that's gonna
yeah.
be playing is
Okay.
from it's Darby's song, is it?
Yeah, the first one is the song that Darby wants to give her dad on the tribute video. What's really neat is it actually had like kind of just instrumental music. And so the kids pick the song that they want on it. And Darby's was Hear You Me by Jimmy Eat World. And mine is Fly to the Angels by Slaughter. And Devin's is old violin by some old guy. Johnny, what was it? Did you look?
Uh,
Johnny paid Johnny
paycheck.
Paycheck or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I was gonna say Safe Chuck. That's never mind. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, and we're gonna leave y'all now with this tribute video, and I
Yeah.
hope that y'all enjoyed all our my little miracles. It was really a lot for just how long it's been because he died on the 14th, and what's today, the
The 20th. Yeah.
19th or
Not even a
20th?
week.
Yeah, yeah. But I had to wait a little while and get myself to where I could get through this, you know.
Yeah. But I think it really goes to show just how much, when we can just pay attention, you know what I mean? It's you had a lot of little synchronicities. I think the one with the phone being unlocked was real interesting because
Oh, I forgot to
that was a
talk about that
that
one.
was a big mystery for a while. Okay, so like he always had his phone locked, and then they get to his phone and it was unlocked. So they were kind of like, "What the
And I
heck?"
mean,
Did he know he
yeah,
was
it
going
was
to
like he
pass
had
away, or it's this
right.
big mystery until finally, what was it, Jeremy, Darby's boyfriend, remembered him saying that he had to turn it off to use his map app or something, and then
Right.
couldn't figure out how to
And
get it back on. But just the timing in it was
let
so wild because you were able to get into all of his friends' phones, his work job, and all of that.
right. And the thing is that if Jeremy, like for, I don't even know how it came up, but the thing is that if it hadn't came up and it was a mystery, because I think all of us, our mind kind of, I mean, the way that it was found, unlikely. But for someone that always has a passcode on their phone, and the weekend before Darby had put it in, she was like, "Dad, what's your passcode?" Because to change the music outside while they were cooking, like for it to be off, Darby was like, "That's not right." Well, then all of a sudden, Jeremy's like, "Oh yeah," he said he had to take the passcode off. That Jeremy may have helped him take it off because he wasn't real technological. He was kind of like me, so maybe that's what happened. But Jeremy said he had to turn it off to use the maps to get somewhere or something. So then we were all like, "Oh, okay,"
Right. You can really
because it
see
was
how it
kind of
was
a
all
mystery
really
for a
meant
couple
to
of days.
be, and you can really, through the grief and stuff, see the magic, and still feel him coming through in little ways and little
Uh,
signs and synchronicities, which just warms the heart,
yeah.
especially right
Oh
at
my
first here in the first
gosh.
week. He's come through a lot for me in the
Yes.
first week, and to me, that's just amazing. It's
Yeah.
miraculous. The
It
changing the
is.
gold,
And
and all of that.
yeah, and I forgot to say I actually had a out of body experience and saw him, but I didn't see him.
Right,
So this is how it went down. I had just gotten in bed and I was about to fall asleep, and I was entering sleep paralysis, and I didn't go on purpose. I felt like someone was taking me. In fact, if you watch that Casper video in the thing, there's a part where he's like pulling her, and I had just noticed that like this afternoon. But anyway, all of a sudden I was in like a living room by myself in a vacant house, and it was evening time, so it was kind of gray. But I saw a mist form in front of me, and I like put my hands out, and I was like, "Jude, is that you?" And I could feel this energy in my hands. I had my hands like in the mist, and then he like kind of scooted closer to me, and he jumped a jump that was higher, kind of float just for a second, and then go back down. So it was like a little higher than like you could really jump in like this realm. And then he was jumping with me really, really high and then back down and then really, really higher and back down. And I was and it was like I could feel him asking me, "Did you know I could do this or whatever?" And I was like, me, I'm trying to be all the expert. I'm like, "I know. I wanted to make sure that you could knew how to do that." Now at this point it was all telepathic. The only thing I said out loud was at the first thing that I'd said to him, "Jude, is that you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I wanted to make sure you knew how that you could do stuff like that." Well, all of a sudden he whips me up and he's like flying around and around the room super fast. And I honestly, I was getting kind of scared. It was so fast, kind of like an orb would. And then all of a sudden he starts like racing down like towards the floor. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're like going in for a crash landing, pull back, pull back. And I was like really scared. And then we land on the floor, and then we were like rolling together, like toward the dining room area of it, and we were like kind of chuckling or whatever, and then I like went back in my body. So that was like it. But
That's
it was
cool.
something.
That's very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well,
And
lots of
so
love, you
we have
guys.
the
So yeah, we
tribute
have the
video.
tribute. We'll end it with a tribute video. Let's play it now. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, much
Love.
love to everybody.
Peace.
There's no one in town, I know. You gave us someplace to go. I never said thank you for that. I thought I might get one more chance. What would you think of me now? So lucky, so strong, so proud. I never said thank you for that. Now I never have a chance. May angels lead you in. Here you meet my friends. On sleepless roads, the sleepless go. May angels lead you in. So what would you think of me now? So lucky, so strong, so proud. I never said thank you for that. Now I'll never have a chance. May angels lead you in. Here you meet my friends. On sleepless roads, the sleepless go. May angels lead you in.
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 May angels lead you in. And if you were with me tonight, I'd sing to you just one more time. A song for a heart so big God wouldn't let it live. May angels lead you in. Here you meet my friends. On sleepless roads, the sleepless go. May angels lead you in. May angels lead you in. Here you meet my friends. could light up the world. Now it rains, it seems the sun never shines. And I drive down this lonely, lonely road. Ooh, I got this feeling, girl, I gotta let you go. 'Cause now you got to fly, fly to the angels. Heaven awaits your heart, and flowers bloom in your name. Whoa, whoa, you gotta fly, fly to the angels. All the stars in the night shine your name. Though it hurts me way deep inside, when I turn and look and find that you're not there, I try to convince myself that the pain is still not gone. Till I drive down this lonely, lonely road. Ooh, I got this feeling, girl, I gotta let you go. But now you got to fly, fly to the angels. Heaven awaits your heart, and flowers bloom in your name. Whoa, whoa, you gotta fly, fly to the angels. All the stars in the night shine in your name. And still I drive down this lonely, lonely road. Ooh, I got this feeling, oh, I can't let you go. But I know that you got to fly, fly to the angels. Heaven awaits your heart, and flowers bloom in your name. Whoa, whoa, you got to fly, fly to the angels. All the stars in the sky shine in your name. Yeah. Ow. Ooh, 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 ooh,
I can't recall One time in my life, I felt as lonely as I do tonight. I feel like I could lay down and get up no more. It's the damnedest feeling. I never felt it before. Tonight I feel like an old violin, soon to be put away and never played again. Don't ask me why I feel like this. Hell, I can't say. I only wish this feeling would just go away. I guess it's 'cause the truth is the hardest thing I ever faced. 'Cause you can't change the truth in the slightest way.